So this is my first time here. My first time. And I got a cheer without reading something. It's probably I should just say bank and get off the stage really quickly. This first one follows the best advice I ever got about writing. Someone said, write about anything. Just write. So I sat in my room and I wrote something called window, and I wrote something called door, something called straw, and there was a necklace, a cross necklace, on my desk. So I wrote this, and it's called cross. Incidentally, by the way, if you do memorise what you write, don't rewrite it after you memorise it. So that's the situation I'm in right now. A man stands up upon a cross, and they say, he offers blood for me. I've got a question. Does this act mean more to me than everywhere I've ever been? Is this love sacrosanct? Is this man my saviour? Because this hill looks so high and yet so often climbed. I see him there. He's always there, and I convince myself I can feel the love and the blood and even the rain. And I ask, is this the reason I've lived? I'm just asking questions. What do you want me to do? I say I want to separate myself from a crowd that walked with and abandoned you. Am I every step's a step too far? I want, but am I just saying things? Your body part dead and alive now, bits of skin like cracked off paint, mostly men. A crown of thorns, what did they do to you? Your legs are sodden in blood and your chest heaves out the rest. Come to this cross, clothes clean but arms open, so I try to bloody my mind and burden. I can't take you in, much less try to live you out. So I make myself an apparition, half like me, half like you, on the cross. See, I want the crown, but not the thorns. I walk a little closer and see my heart and bleeding Saviour with arms as wide as love. Haven't known for a long time what to say, but you know. Your fingers rush through my memory, press in my confession, and you push them all out the way so I could try to love you back. I don't understand you, but your grace is a puzzle. My piece of history fits, and your love. Your drop of blood touches me and trickles down my chest, cleaning my clothes. Your ancient, tortured, loving cry that brought me here and brought the crowd. I want to shout out, what should I do? But I only whimper, help me. You did. My clothes cleaned, my focus changed, my life changed, and everything is done for me. Everything is cross. Thanks very much. I only heard at least one person who was an international student earlier on. Is there anyone else here who's an international student? Anyone? Quiet room. One. Where are you from? Spain. Okay, so I want to dedicate this to the entire nation of Spain. This is called 9 months in Glasgow. It's about being an international student in Glasgow. September was a fresh month, full of new faces, full of hello and what do you study, and bank accounts and travel plans, and sometimes remember names. I sit down with people my father back home wouldn't sit down with. I join a society as something obsolete and peculiar, go to a pub and a long road of ideas just to have conversations and leave them there. Early dinners, short skirts, driving on the left. September's open-minded, more than ever before. October was my first trip somewhere. I saw a Ben, Vorlich in the night time, and a Loch, Katrin, set to hills. I went with friends who weren't even friends yet. My first lecture was in October, and I did not ken one word. I started to feel lonely, calling home every night, and sometimes during the day. By November time, I had very formed opinions. I decided about flatmates and friends and places I'd go, and I decided about Glasgow and staying there. The weather was cold and dark and miserable, but had character. The smell was dirty, strong and pungent, but like a nice malt. I'd gotten used to Glasgow. After all, I crossed roads without praying first, looking the right way, the right way, which meant December was hard to leave behind. It was good to go home, good to prove to people what I'd said on the phone. Look, I'm still alive, and lie a little. I'm still the same. But December felt like halfway, and home just didn't feel right. My January landing was quick, back to the places and people I knew. January was the first time I slept. The first time I missed you and called Glasgow home. It was slushy and wet with no snow, but I didn't care. I was back in the Boyd Orr building, back in Kelvinhall Street. I was drinking Guinness again. I was sending a message to my old friend, my old home. Come and see me here. Come and meet Glasgow. Come and see Glasgow, because me and Glasgow were together all the time now. And it was official. It was wet, the howling wet. February winds left me stranded in Ireland at a ferry terminal going nowhere. We played Erasmus, Scrabble. You can use French and German and English. Just sound out the words. Back in the mainland, I started to fail exams, slightly forgetting that I'd come here to study words on page and number on screen. The lecture theatre would always be there. It was the hills that brought me to this country in the first place. That said, the midges might drive me out. In March, I realised how much I'd changed. I wanted to keep on changing. I wanted to stay. Names from my old home were starting to mix in with names from here. Mum, Sarah, Lithgow, Hamish. I was inexplicably grateful to them all that I came. Go back or stay. I knew I'd hurt some of them either way. Go back or stay. I knew they'd understand by me. I joined the library in April, having asked a Scottish friend for directions, and climbed the steps to the 10th floor, climbed up learning steeper slopes. I had to study, everyone else was, and there was exams to come. And 12 hours learning and 4 hours sleep and climbing the stairs made me feel less like a tourist. And leaving the camera at home in Scotland feel more real. I knew it was nearly over. Those great grey clouds that so decorated winter were only hiding summer, and we'd leave soon. We're only 4 more weekends, then no more Celtic music at Ishkaba. Friends from my old home were starting to plan my holidays. I had a report to write for Erasmus, and I could almost understand taxi drivers. Me and Glasgow were still together, but we both knew one of us would end it soon. Things started to cool between us. April left the room. Solihull Street, the Bauer Building. I say goodbye to my city in May, because though saying goodbye is difficult, studying for exams is harder. Kelvinhall Street, the Primary. I say goodbye to my city in May. I say goodbye to people in June. I say goodbye that mean so much more. Something I can't say yet in English. I say goodbye that mean goodbye. How I love you, jealously withdrawn, how summer's full of home. I will love you till the winter comes. Now let me go. Glasgow, let me home. His name was Hamish, their only Scottish friend. He still with baby boy there. I hadn't thought much about what to do once they were gone. He looked backwards out the car window and suddenly left him. He put his hands in his pockets and walked back home, trying not to think about it. Because it's hard to say goodbye when you can't stay, but it's even harder when you must. Thanks very much. I went not so long ago to Seville. One of the most beautiful things about Seville is there's architecture from so many different traditions. So you've got Moorish stuff, you've got a Jewish quarter, you've got the best cathedral I've ever seen. And this is really about the religious iconography in Seville, and hopefully I remember it. This is Seville, and I built it. Heaved the statues out of the ground, fired the builders' arms with blood, and let the architects' imagination, and stood back and waited, and nothing. I invented poetry, put the words together for you, words for heartbreaks, words for landscapes, words for love. I sent you flowers, and you fell in love with Seville. I wrote my love song across this city, built great cathedrals for breves, sang the refrain, I listened, I waited, I listened, I waited. Nothing. You covered your ears, you caught the echo, you waited for your part, and then nothing. You filled in the blanks with blanks. And now even these statues seem silent. I built it. I know that I built it. They push in together, camera flashing, arms reaching out and touching, but never feeling and never hearing. Don't you see? No one built a statue for a city. No one built a statue for lust, just the postponed rejection of love. No one built a statue for money. But now even these statues that I built for you seem silent. I stand a little back. watching, waiting. I stand a little back, listening, hoping. Thanks very much, guys.